Hello there, and welcome to Dr. T for June the 23rd. We're coming at you from Stage 1 as usual. This Stage 1, not too bad. Throw a shock on the sniper tower and the shock launcher. Actually flare onto the shock launcher to make sure your tanks take it out. And then you can either take out the sniper tower, move around, do whatever you want. Go kill that stupid statue in the background. Just saying, hint hint. But you'll get your win. Now, this level has, I will find this, I will be able to tell you, a ridiculous amount of hit points, that much I know. 85,000 hit points. And yes, finally have finished off the Dr. T achievements. It's a very exciting day. I'm glad that I could do it on Stage 1, the hardest of the stages to do it on. Alright. Oh man, that means if like one day where I only got to like Stage 6, if I had just gotten Stage 7 down, I would have been able to have gotten this on Stage 7 of the last one. Whatever. Anyways, Stage 1 had 85,000 hit points, which is actually quite a bit for Stage 1. Stage 2 has 33,000 hit points, so a heck of a lot less, which means maybe even some of you mid-level people out there might be able to like GBE this one down. Might be fun to try out. I don't know. Give it a shot. Obviously, follow the path of those tanks and it'll take you to a win. Stage 3, very easy, all nice tank-friendly defenses here, and 136,000 HP on the HQ for YOU. Basically, go up the right-hand side, let your tanks take out the flamethrowers that can't even reach them, the machine guns that do barely any damage at all to them, and then once everything's down, kind of flare yourself over onto the right-hand side. Now, I was hoping that, like, I could outrange that rocket launcher maybe just by a smidge, you know, pull the tanks back. Turns out, no, so just throw a medkit or something onto your tanks, or throw shocks onto that rocket launcher, or if you really want, you can just blow it up. You know, whatever you've got available, whatever you want to do, definitely do that, because if you have medics, like, you don't even have to do anything, let's be honest. So we'll move on to Stage 4. Stage 4 having 199,000 hit points, and it's actually a pretty friendly level on Stage 4 this time. Now, what I would suggest is if you are landing a full complement of tanks on this beach, because there's some machine guns and sniper towers and mortars and stuff, maybe drop like one smoke on the left-hand side of that beach. It'll allow you to get your tanks out through there without getting hit, or your medics or whomever. Go over to the right-hand side, and then basically you can naturally follow the path of things to blow up towards the HQ, and your tanks will kind of autopilot their way in there. Now, what I would suggest, though, is you blow up the sniper tower right there, right next to the HQ, because it will actually have range to reach out and nail your tanks. Now, once you've taken out that sniper tower, basically, when they're on the right-hand side, you can already see them shooting away on the HQ. Absolutely nothing can hit them. Now, I cleared out some things just so I could throw critters. That's my equivalent of Zookas, if you would, just to speed things up a little bit. But you don't necessarily have to take out the mortar or the cannons behind there, because none of them will have range on your tanks from basically where my tanks are sitting right there. So you'll be able to get a nice easy win. Moving on to Stage 5, 275,000 hit points on this bad boy. The killer is, the boom cannons have 11.5k, and the shock launchers have 13k, give or take. And there's at least 2 boom cannons and a shock launcher that you need to clear out, and this layout, I guess, of the base is not very forgiving when it comes to the GBE. So what I kind of suggest is throw yourself a boost on your GBE masterpiece, and that'll hopefully get you past the first little bit of this attack, because you want to take out that shock launcher right away because it reaches out and hits pretty much the entire map. And then you're going to want to take out the boom cannons pretty much right away, because it does not take you long to get your tanks up into this position, which is where both of those boom cannons would just have a heyday. Now, obviously, if you've got to, do them in order, by all means. Also, by taking out those two boom cannons right away at the same time, you'll also take out that rocket launcher, which will help reduce the sustained damage on your tanks, which means that, your medics will have a slightly easier time of it. And as you can see, I tried to kind of test the waters, see where we could move our tanks. Basically, it's best to just keep them huddled up at the very top, and maybe throw down some GBE on there if you have it available. If you don't, throw some shocks. If you don't have those left, throw critters if you have them. I don't know if you'd have them. But, mix it up, do whatever works best for you. Just throw tons of medkits if you have to. Which takes us to Stage 6. Stage 6 having 396,000 hit points this time, which I know I made sound like a whole lot, but really it's not that much. We've seen Stage 6 is well over 400, so don't ask me why I did that, because I really don't know. It just sounded fun to say. Boom cannons on this level, there is one. You don't need to touch it, but it still has 22,000 hit points. There's also the shock launchers, which obviously we've started to brux up, and they have 20.5 thousand hit points, give or take. I'm rounding, obviously. So, hopefully you're watching what happened down there. Land, blow things up, shock things, everybody's happy. Go around the right-hand side, and while you're going around the right-hand side, take out those cannons. I say cannons because I'm pretty sure both of them could touch the tanks. I could be wrong, but, why risk it? It's easy enough just to blow them up. If you're really tight on GBE, by all means, definitely feel it out, do some proper measurements, get, good ideas, and do whatever you can with them. You might even be able to just take out the one. I don't know. So, basically, go up right-hand side, hug the roof, or the top, the right, whatever this is. Hug where my tanks are, please. It'll keep you away from the cannon. You'll have, minor inconveniences like the rocket launcher shooting at you, but you should be pretty safe. And that takes us on to Stage 7. And Stage 7, I ruined it. I did horrible, bad things. I apologize. So the HQ has 443,000 hit points, and the shock launchers have 37,000 hit points, give or take. And there aren't any actual boom cannons, which made me think, oh yeah, this is gonna be great. Oh yeah. No, I was wrong. And I think I was wrong because basically I stopped paying attention at the wrong time. But basically I flared onto the shock launcher so that I could blow up the shock launcher, and then I kind of let my tanks do their thing, and then I was like, okay, there's a shock launcher in behind the HQ, let's pay attention to this because it's gonna have to go. And I stopped looking at my tanks here and was like, alright, we're gonna shoot things. And I come back and it's like, holy Jesus heck, my tanks are hurting. I see red. What is going on here? So I tried to flare back, kind of pull her back a notch so that I could finish off the shock launcher and sniper tower up here. Very important to share your damages across. And then pull up, and I was hoping my medics rather would kind of rejuvenate my tanks while they pull back. That kind of works. Apparently not so much. Apparently they just got blown up instead. So also, the drunken tank is just like, I'm going to the south. Because the drunken tank wanted some hooch? Moonshine. No, it's moonshine, right? Or maybe hooch and moonshine are the same thing. Anyways, the one tank decided to go to the south. The rest of them kind of went up where we wanted to, but ended up taking a lot more damage than previously anticipated. I ended up losing a bunch of tanks here, and medics for that matter, but eventually it'll whittle you down to this smaller cluster of elite tanks, we're going to call them, the smart ones, the SEAL Team 7 super tanks. I don't know if the Navy SEALs use tanks. And you know, those tanks up there will just shoot the ever-living poop out of that HQ, and you're going to get yourself the win, even if you got to spend a little bit of your gold to replenish your troops. Now, if you have more GBE, by all means, take out those stupid freaking cannons, or stun the cannons and, like, flare down to them so your tanks can take them out. There's a bunch of different alternatives that you could work in there, but unfortunately, you know, most of those I started to think up after I had already lost 3/4 of my troops and was like, well, I guess we're riding this one out. Anyways, hopefully this has been helpful. Thank you very much for watching, and most importantly, have yourselves a fantastic day. Ooh, extra crystal.